What's up, rock stars? Welcome back to the JW Show. And we're back at it again with another relationship topic that I find very important and very true to me, and some advice that I know work for me. And on this topic, it's how to navigate relationships when things get tough. Because let's be real, relationships are not always smooth sailing, okay? Sometimes things get messy. Sometimes you have some trust issues that spiraled out of control, and sometimes just outside stress factors such as work and life itself starts creeping into your relationship, and you have to end up wondering, hey, can we get through this? Can I get through this? What can I do? But here's the truth. Tough times are inevitable. They're going to happen regardless. And life isn't roses and the grass isn't always greener on the other side of the road. But you don't have to give up on things. And with just giving, time and energy and actually talking and communicating, you can actually get into that and work it out. So in this episode, we're going to go ahead and dive into a very practical, no nonsense strategy that can help navigate those hard moments in relationships when things get tough. Because that way you can come out stronger and have a much better relationship than before. Now, with that being said, every relationship experiences troubles. Okay? My relationship experienced troubles. A lot of my relationships, past and present, have experienced, struggles and whatnot, how to navigate those things. I know me and Miss Diva Talks, we make this thing look like it's very easy. We have great chemistry on air. And even in, off camera we do. But we've had our ups and downs. And we're, like a normal relationship, we have our ups and downs and we navigate those things. Some of the tough things here that happen in relationship is miscommunications, conflicts, external stressors like work, bills and being an adult itself, like finances and stuff. That can play into a fact of a relationship. And then also your personal struggles, because your previous relationship, you may have felt that there wasn't any closure in that previous relationship. So you still hold on to that. And by you holding on to that, you're causing a negative impact on your current relationship. So the way that you face those moments with your partner and yourself can actually bring you closer or tear you apart. And I say that because in my life, I've had things in relationships where something happened and it didn't bring us closer. It actually tore us apart because we didn't have the communication. We blamed each other. And I also blamed my partner at the time, and my partner blamed me for things. And it tore us apart. But with communication and stuff, it does help. Now, the key strategies that you can use in a relationship to help navigate those tough times is one of the things I like to do. Like I always say, communication is very important. It's key. It's one of the founding pillars of a relationship. You know, so openly talking about things, no matter how difficult they are, no matter how hard it is to open up, talking openly and making sure your partner is listening is going to help you. For example, I went through some things, and I'm a kind of person, I always like to know what's on your mind. I'm always asking, hey, what's on your mind? Because I pick up on vibes. So if I can sense that that something's bothering you, I'm going to want to know what it is, regardless of if it's a good thing or a bad thing. Talk to me so I can listen and understand you. Now, when tensions are high, you do have to focus on the issue, not the personal attack. So accusing your partner of, oh, you're being secretive, you must be messing around X, Y, and Z, that's not going to help. So instead of that, just instead of saying, oh, you never listen to me, just say, hey, I feel unheard. I feel that don't get a chance to respond when you vent to me about things, and I always feel like I'm being ignored, or something along those lines to show that, hey, you can communicate those things. And also, you got to create a team mindset, because a lot of times people get into relationships and they think that relationships are all about one person, or it's their way versus the highway, and it's not. A relationship is a team. It's a team thing. You can't succeed if you're both thinking individually. You have to put that mindset as a team together so you both can be better. And another thing is that you always got to do is simply sit there and remind your partner that you're there. Like if they're upset or stressed about, for example, let's say they're stressed about work and whatnot, let them know, hey, if it's work or finance, let them know that, hey, you got this. I'm here for you if you need me. Boom. Because not everybody wants someone who's going to just swoop in and fix the situation. I had to learn that myself. I had to sit back and be like, okay, let me tell my partner that, hey, I'm there for you if you need me. And that gives them the opportunity and a chance to come to you on their own terms once they figured out how to process it and open up to you. That way you can sit back and listen and learn to understand where your partner's coming from. So then you can be better able to help them when they want you to help. And another thing here, especially finances. I know a lot of people say finances in a relationship usually doesn't have an impact, but it does, because finances has an impact on everything in life, to be honest with you. You know, it does. So you can be in a relationship, and if it's finances that's causing a drag on the relationship, just, how can I say, help plan a budget. Say, hey, I know you said that, hey, money is tight. Let's look at the budget. Let's see what we can do to save some money. Or if you both live separately and your partner's talking about, oh, I need to figure out how I can save on my phone bill. How can I do this? If you're in a situation where you can help your partner, take a bill out their plate and say, hey, instead of you paying for your phone bill, why don't you come over to my line, and boom. If I got it, we got it. Something to that nature. Not every relationship works good like that, but there's something there to check. Now, also take a step back when it's needed, because sometimes you do need to take time off to cool off. And a lot of times people think that taking a step back is you're ending the relationship, it's over. No, not at all. Sometimes you do need a couple of days or a week to sit back and see, hey, let me see what's going on. Let them get their moment to cool off and figure things out. Because if you're trying to fix the issue at hand right when it's there, you're going to push the other person away, and it's going to explode at some point. Okay, so take a step back when it's needed, because it's okay to cool off and let your emotions level off, especially if it's something serious and big. Okay, it's okay to say when you're in a heated discussion, when it's getting heated and you can tell, it's okay to say, hey, you know what? Let's pause this conversation. Let's take a step back and revisit it later. Now, when I say revisit it later, don't sit there and say that line and then never follow up with it. Make sure you follow up with it, whether it's a couple of hours or even the next day. Make sure you do that as well. And then also focus on solutions, not just the problems. Try to encourage finding, you know, steps that can help resolve the conflict. If it's something where you're not being emotionally there for your partner, try to find steps to help them become emotionally there. If it's something about they're not showing you enough time, quality time, find steps to fix that situation. You know, try planning date nights to include your partner so that way you guys can get back to what works for you guys. Even small changes, of course, make a big difference. Now, I know a lot of people always sit there and say that red flags, green flags, yes, that's always there. Now, the red flag things in a relationship is always these are my main two, my main three. Constant, it's the constant blame game. You're always blaming your partner for, oh, it's your fault that we're not where we're supposed to be at. It's your fault that this relationship isn't progressing how I want it to be. It's your fault that we haven't made it to here yet, and this is what I want. Playing the blame game is never helpful. It's a red flag, and it's only going to destroy the relationship. It's going to make your partner feel like that you aren't really there for them. You're just in it for your own self. And then also, when you have issues that are too big, that you feel like, it's too big to handle alone, that's a red flag. Also, sometimes some people don't want to go to couples therapy or even therapy for their own selves, or even talk about issues with their close friend. And I feel like, if you're not opening up and talking about your issues or concerns, that can also play a factor into your relationship. And it is a red flag. It is indeed. Now, what you also have to do, remembering this, is also make sure that you remember the three things: communicating, showing empathy, and teamwork, and focusing on things. So, no matter how big the issue is, no matter how small the issue is, communicate. If your partner goes out and is hanging out with his female friend, his female best friend, and you feel some type of way about them hanging out, spending time together as friends, communicate that to your partner so that way you can understand what type of friendship that is. If your partner is hanging out with her male friends, sometimes make sure you communicate where you stand at on that. If it makes you feel uneasy, communicate that. Show empathy. If your partner's feeling down and out, make sure you show empathy and understanding where they're coming from. Try putting yourself in their shoes sometimes. And of course, teamwork is self-explanatory. Teamwork makes the dream work. Okay? Because tough times can be hard. It can be. But it doesn't mean that the relationship is over because you're experiencing tough times. No, not at all. I've had tough relationships, and I've had tough things happen to me in my life. But I never once sat there and was like, hey, you know what? I'm ending everything. It's not worth it. No. I'm always going to try to fight for things. And hey, if we just grow apart, we grow apart. And one of the things that I always make sure to do is to make sure that I tell people that I would rather see you happy with somebody else versus suffering with me. Because if I can't love you the way you deserve to be loved, then it's okay for you to go out and be loved by somebody else who can properly love you. That's okay. Relationships sometimes grow apart, but don't stay in a relationship just because you feel like you have to. No. Now, on the next episode, we're going to go ahead and talk about rebuilding trust when a relationship is damaged. So be sure to go ahead and subscribe to my channel, turn the notification bell on, and of course, as always, thanks so much for tuning in to this one. And again, I apologize if I'm a little bit rough. I just came back from vacation here for the new year, so I'm a little bit rough on things, and I'm trying to remember everything and be more structured here. So again, I will see you guys when I see you. Later, y'all.